lovely. So here's another video about a trip to the zoo. So we went to ZSL Whipsnade Zoo. It's located in Dunstable, which is like an hour drive from London. It's a massive zoo with 600 acres of land, and a lot of information is on their website. So if you look around in my description, I've listed out everything, their opening timings and their ticket prices. If you're planning a visit, just read through my description or go to their website. You'll see everything there. So first things first, we saw these wallabies which are roaming around just in the wild, and they're on their own. There's no caging or anything of that sort. So that's the beauty of this zoo. If you see around, all the animals are not being caged or anything. They're roaming around in the wild, and it's more sort of a natural habitat for them. No boundaries or anything, and mostly animals are freely roaming around. Even the animals which are a bit dangerous, so they're caged in a way where they have their own space. But that's beautiful. Look at this view. And next up, we're going to the penguin section. Oh my god, that's one of my favorite one. As you will see, they are gorgeous, all of them. They're different varieties of penguins, which you'll see in a bit. And let's have a look. Look how gorgeous they are, like literally. Like I just saw them and then I had that thing in my mind, like the penguin walk, which has always been taught, like in this skating you have to do the penguin walk and you have to be very careful. But they were like different kinds, and then there was a lot of information about them as well. So like if the kids want to know more about it, they could read through and then they would know what they are. And as they walk towards the other side, it's because they've been fed. So you'll see in the later part of the video where I'll show you how they've been fed. As you saw, I think the guy explained it as well. They've been treated just like the wild, so they're fed in the water rather than outside. So
down in the wild, so we copy the wild behaviour. So these guys will get fed in the pool. In the pool.
They were so cute. They were roaming around. They knew that the food is coming through and they were waiting for it at the door. But then obviously they need to be fed in the water. So the guy took them and they went back and they looked so adorable. Look at that.
Ooh.
It was so funny that the birds came as well, just because there was food being fed to the penguins. The birds thought that they can have a treat as well, so it was nice to see the entire site. Next up, we saw some rhinos, and there was a little information about them as well. So as they were getting closer, that I could see a closer look of them. So you'll see. We wanted to see the reindeers, but I think they've not been there for some odd reason. But then we realized maybe they're out for the Christmas decorations and stuff. So they've been taken for all the different Christmas activities. Next up, we went to see the hippos. And here we are. We couldn't take a proper look at them because I think it was like lunchtime for them, so they went inside and it's a little sneak peek, and then at the outside there were a few more. This was kind of my favorite because the ostrich was so amazing. They were roaming around in the wild, just like in the grass, and they were eating with their beak. And then there were ducks, which looked beautiful in the water, in the pond. Next up, we saw the cheetahs. Oh my goodness, they looked amazing. They were sitting there right at the end, and I thought maybe, are they real or not? Because they were not quite moving. But then they turned their head, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. This was basically the section where all the deers were roaming around in this entire area, and you could take your car and then you could go around. It's just that if you get out of the car, it gets a bit weird for them and they run around. So you just have to be careful. You sit in the car and you could watch them as you go. I don't know if I've mentioned before or not, but basically this zoo, there are two kind of ways you could go visit the zoo. So there's a parking outside, you park your car and then walk inside, so that's ideal in the summertime. But as the weather is getting a bit colder, what you could do is you could take your car inside. There are certain areas you could drive your car and then look around all the animals, and then you could park on certain spaces available inside, and then or on the side of the road where there's marked spaces, and then you could get out of the car, look around, and then get in the car and then drive again. But there's an entry ticket for the car to be taken inside. Next up, we saw some camels, but they were quite far away because we're up in the hill and then we could see them. You can't go around them. And then we saw some yaks, and they looked really nice, and we got to know more information about them, that where they are, and this was my favorite part. There were elephants there, and there was this cute little baby elephant as well, which you'll see in a bit. It was nice to see them. There was a section outside where they could go, and then they came inside, and then they had like different activities and stuff, and they were fed inside as well. So we were standing in, everybody else was standing inside, because we were waiting for the elephants to come inside and we could have a look. There was so much more to explore. There was more animals, and there was a steam engine train inside. There was indoor play area, but we didn't explore. But we'll come around next time and see, because we've got the membership as well, and you could come all year round. See.